What if your child is not confused, but simply unmapped? What if the real issue is not lack of intelligence, not lack of ambition, not lack of discipline, but the fact that nobody has understood what kind of intelligence is actually operating inside your child? Because every child is not born to learn the same way. Every child is not born to become the same kind of topper. Every child is not born to sit quietly, memorize information, repeat answers, and then be judged as intelligent or unintelligent by one narrow academic system. And this is exactly where intelligence mapping becomes powerful. Today, I want to take you through an actual case study. I will use an imaginary name. Let us call this child Samarth. Samarth is a Gen Alpha child, bright, curious, mentally active, socially sensitive, observant, but not easy to place inside a standard box. If you look at Samarth only through school marks, you may miss the real child. If you look at him only through behavior, you may misunderstand him. If you look at him only through what he likes this month, you may think he is scattered. But when you use planetary placement as the diagnostic engine, suddenly the pattern becomes clear. And that is why astrological intelligence mapping is so direct. It does not ask, is this child intelligent? That question is too shallow. It asks, what kind of intelligence is this child carrying? It asks, where does the mind open? It asks, what kind of learning gives joy? It asks, which study path will make this child feel connected to the world? And once you understand that, you stop forcing the child into someone else's path. You begin guiding the child toward their own. Now let us enter Samarth's intelligence map. Samarth has Sagittarius rising. This is the first major clue. Sagittarius rising does not create a small mind. It creates a mind that wants meaning. This child is not satisfied with just do this because I said so. He wants to know why. Why does this matter? How does this connect to life? How does this help people? What is the bigger picture? So when you see Samarth asking questions, do not immediately call it distraction. When you see him challenging an explanation, do not immediately call it argument. When you see him losing interest in dry repetition, do not immediately call it laziness. A Sagittarius ascendant child needs purpose inside learning. If the subject feels meaningless, the energy drops. But when the subject opens a door into wisdom, people, culture, technology, society, psychology, or the future, the mind lights up. This is a child who must be taught through meaning, not pressure alone. Now the next major marker. Mercury is the Amatya Karaka, placed in the first house in Sagittarius. This is extremely important. The Amatya Karaka shows the working intelligence, professional skill, and the way the person contributes to the world. When Mercury becomes Amatya Karaka, the chart is saying clearly, this child's career intelligence runs through communication, logic, analysis, language, writing, technology, business, marketing, reasoning, and intellectual adaptability. Mercury is the intelligent communicator. Mercury is the analyst. Mercury is the planet of language, trade, logic, and new ideas. Now place that Mercury in the first house. That means communication is not just a skill for Samarth. It becomes part of his identity. Thinking becomes part of his personality. Questioning becomes part of his presence. Explaining becomes part of his natural expression. He may learn better when he can talk through the idea. He may understand while discussing. He may not be the child who silently absorbs everything and reproduces it mechanically. He needs dialogue. He needs comparison. He needs examples. He needs the freedom to ask and respond. And here parents must be careful. A Mercury-dominant child can look restless in a traditional classroom, but that restlessness is often not weakness. It is unused intelligence searching for movement. Now, Mercury is also joined with Rahu in the first house. This changes the map dramatically. Mercury with Rahu gives a futuristic mind. It gives digital intelligence. It gives unconventional thinking. It gives media instinct. It gives persuasion. It gives attraction toward technology, artificial intelligence, social platforms, communication tools, online systems, digital learning, and modern influence. This is not old school Mercury alone. This is Mercury amplified by Rahu. So Samarth may not just speak. He may want reach. He may not just learn technology. He may understand how technology shapes people. He may not just consume digital content. He may one day create, structure, or influence digital content. This placement is excellent for future fields like AI communication, digital marketing, journalism, software thinking, UI UX, product communication, educational technology, social media strategy, and human-computer interaction. And this is why intelligence mapping is superior to generic career advice. Generic advice asks, does the child like science or commerce? This system asks, which planet is carrying the career intelligence? In Samarth's case, it is Mercury. So we know he is not meant to be trapped in mute, repetitive, non-communicative work. He needs fields where thinking, explaining, analyzing, connecting, designing, writing, teaching, speaking, or technology becomes central. Now let us go deeper. Samarth's moon is the Atmakaraka, placed in Gemini in the 7th house with Ketu. This is the soul signature. The Atmakaraka shows the deepest inner journey. Moon as Atmakaraka gives emotional intelligence, receptivity, sensitivity, psychological awareness, nurturing instinct, and the ability to feel what others are feeling. This is not a cold child. This is not a purely technical mind. This is a child whose mind is emotionally responsive. He may pick up the mood in the room. He may notice when someone is upset. He may feel affected by tone, approval, rejection, and emotional atmosphere. But Moon is in Gemini. So emotion does not stay silent. Emotion wants language. Emotion wants conversation. Emotion wants explanation. This gives a child who may understand feelings by talking about them. He may process relationships through words. He may observe people's behavior and mentally classify them. He may ask why someone behaved in a certain way. He may be naturally curious about psychology, friendships, social dynamics, communication, humor, storytelling, and human behavior. Now place this moon in the 7th house. The 7th house is the house of others, relationships, audience, partners, clients, public interaction, social mirrors, and the outside world. This means Samarth's soul learns through people. He is shaped by interaction. He learns through feedback. He understands himself through how others respond. He may become very good at reading people. He may be drawn to performance, media, counseling, teaching, debate, partnership, negotiation, client-facing work, or public communication. But there is also Ketu with the moon. And this makes the pattern subtle. Ketu brings detachment. Ketu brings inner distance. Ketu brings silent observation. Ketu brings past life intelligence. So Samarth may understand people deeply, but still feel separate from them. He may be socially intelligent, but not socially dependent. He may enjoy conversation, but also need withdrawal. He may read others accurately, but not always reveal himself fully. He may feel, I understand people, but people do not always understand me. And from that emotional complexity, a strong psychological intelligence can emerge. This is why one of the strongest fields for Samarth is psychology plus communication. Not psychology as dry theory, psychology as human decoding. Why do people behave this way? Why do children learn differently? Why do emotions block performance? Why do relationships succeed or fail? Why does communication heal one person and hurt another? This kind of chart can produce a counselor, coach, psychologist, communicator, teacher, storyteller, mediator, or relationship intelligence specialist. Now look at the 2nd house. Samarth has Sun and Venus in Capricorn in the 2nd house. The 2nd house is speech, voice, values, family conditioning, resources, memory, perception, and wealth. Sun in the 2nd gives identity through voice, dignity, values, and speech. Venus in the 2nd gives aesthetic speech, pleasant expression, refinement, beauty, music, taste, and the ability to package ideas attractively. But this is in Capricorn. So the beauty is not chaotic. It is structured. The expression is not childish. It matures with discipline. This can become excellent for branding, public speaking, content presentation, luxury communication, design strategy, financial communication, value-based storytelling, and voice-based media. Sun with Venus also gives visual-spatial intelligence. This is the intelligence of beauty, proportion, design, image, tone, and presentation. So do not think Samarth is only a speaker. He may also understand how things should look. He may understand presentation quality. He may care about how an idea is packaged. He may respond to visual learning, diagrams, slides, colors, design, branding, and creative arrangement. That is why fields like branding, media design, UI/UX, presentation design, content strategy, visual education, fashion communication, and product storytelling can suit him. Now look at Jupiter in Aquarius in the 3rd house. This is another powerful marker. The 3rd house is writing, communication, courage, media, skills, self-effort, digital expression, and practical learning. Jupiter is wisdom, teaching, expansion, and guidance. Aquarius is technology, networks, innovation, reform, social systems, and future thinking. So Jupiter in Aquarius in the third says, this child can communicate big ideas through modern platforms. This child can learn through networks. This child can write, teach, publish, explain, and connect ideas to society. This child may be interested in future systems, technology, AI, social reform, digital communities, and new ways of educating people. This is the teacher inside the digital age. This is the communicator who may one day say, let me explain this complex idea in a way everyone can understand. Now add Saturn in Virgo in the sixth house. This placement gives analytical discipline. Virgo is analysis, detail, correction, service, health, refinement, editing, data, technical process, and problem solving. The sixth house is daily work, obstacles, discipline, correction, improvement, competition, and service. Saturn here gives patience, structure, method, quality control, diagnostic intelligence, and the ability to work through complexity slowly. This placement prevents the chart from becoming only talk. It gives the ability to refine. It gives the ability to check errors. It gives the ability to improve systems. It supports logical mathematical intelligence. But in Samarth's chart, logic is not isolated. Logic works best when connected to people, communication, technology, research, or improvement. So he may not enjoy dry mathematics only for marks, but he may enjoy analytics when it tells a story. He may enjoy coding when it builds something useful. He may enjoy data when it explains behavior. He may enjoy systems when they solve real human problems. Now Mars is in Cancer in the fourth house. Mars in Cancer gives emotional action. The fourth house is home, mother, emotions, inner peace, education, property, comfort, and the heart. Mars here makes the child protective, emotionally reactive, and sensitive to the home environment. If the home is disturbed, the mind may become disturbed. If emotional safety is low, performance may fluctuate. This child needs a peaceful learning environment. He may not respond well to harsh emotional pressure. He may act defensively when he feels emotionally cornered. So the parent's tone matters. The teacher's tone matters. The home atmosphere matters. If Samarth feels emotionally secure, the Mercury intelligence opens. If he feels attacked, the moon becomes reactive, and Mars becomes defensive. Now let us rank the intelligence types. The first and most dominant intelligence is linguistic intelligence. This is very high. Mercury as Amatya Karaka in the first house, Moon in Gemini, Jupiter in the third house, and Sun Venus in the second house all point toward language. Samarth can become strong in speaking, writing, explaining, storytelling, teaching, debate, scripting, podcasting, journalism, content creation, languages, and persuasive communication. Do not only ask him to memorize, ask him to teach back, ask him to present, ask him to create a video, ask him to make a mind map, ask him to explain the topic in his own words. That will activate his real intelligence. The second dominant intelligence is interpersonal intelligence. Moon Atma Karaka in the seventh house is a major people reading signature. This child can understand others. He may sense moods, intentions, reactions, and relational patterns. He may enjoy discussion, group learning, negotiation, counseling, teaching, marketing, community building, and public speaking. But he must also be taught boundaries, because if he becomes too dependent on others' approval, he may lose his own direction. The third dominant intelligence is digital and systems communication intelligence. Mercury with Rahu in the first, Jupiter in Aquarius in the third, and Saturn in Virgo in the sixth show a child who can connect communication with technology and systems. This is excellent for AI, digital media, UX, product thinking, educational technology, digital marketing, analytics, software communication, and online learning platforms. He may not just use technology. He may understand how technology communicates with human behavior. That is powerful. The fourth intelligence is logical analytical intelligence. Saturn in Virgo gives correction, process, method, and analysis. Mercury gives reasoning. Ketu gives pattern recognition. This child can analyze, diagnose, classify, and improve systems, but logic should be taught through application. Give him puzzles, coding, behavioral data, product problems, research projects, strategy games, and real-world challenges. Do not make logic feel like punishment. Make logic feel like discovery. The fifth intelligence is visual-spatial and aesthetic intelligence. Sun and Venus in the second house give refined taste, presentation sense, value-based expression, voice, design awareness, and visual packaging. This supports branding, UI/UX, design communication, video content, fashion or lifestyle communication, presentation design, and creative media. The sixth intelligence is naturalist and pattern intelligence. Moon with Ketu gives subtle observation. Mercury gives classification. Sagittarius and Aquarius give global and ecological thinking. This may show as interest in nature, animals, environmental systems, climate, natural patterns, or living systems. The best expression may be environmental communication, sustainability education, climate storytelling, ecological data visualization, or human nature psychology. The seventh intelligence is intrapersonal intelligence. This needs cultivation. Because Moon Atmakaraka is in the seventh house, Samarth may often look outside himself first. He may ask, what do others think? He must be trained to ask, what do I feel? What do I choose? What is my own truth? Journaling, silence, independent projects, reflection, meditation, and solo learning will help him. The eighth intelligence is musical or voice intelligence. Venus in the second, Moon influence, and Mercury's rhythm can give voice sensitivity, musical appreciation, lyrical speech, spoken word, singing, narration, or podcasting ability. Professional music may not be the main path unless passion appears strongly, but voice can become a powerful tool. The ninth intelligence is bodily kinesthetic intelligence. This is secondary. Still, movement is important. This child may need walking, gesture, drama, role play, or hands-on projects to learn better. Do not keep him trapped in a chair for too long and expect full brilliance. Now, what fields of study suit Samarth best? First, psychology and communication. This is a top match. Child psychology, counseling, behavioral science, communication psychology, educational psychology, cognitive science, relationship psychology, all of these can suit him. Second, media, writing, journalism, and content creation. This chart is built for language. Creative writing, journalism, podcasting, YouTube education, storytelling, script writing, public speaking, digital publishing, and communication studies can all open his natural gifts. Third, AI, digital communication, UX, and product thinking. This is a very strong future path. AI tools, prompt design, UX research, UI/UX design, product management, educational technology, digital marketing, data storytelling, and human-computer interaction can connect his Mercury, Rahu, Jupiter, Aquarius, and Saturn beautifully. Fourth, education, teaching, training, and coaching. Sagittarius rising and Jupiter in the third give the teacher's pattern. He may become someone who explains complex ideas simply. Fifth, marketing, branding, and public relations. Mercury, Rahu gives persuasion. Venus in the second gives packaging. Moon in Gemini gives audience awareness. This supports brand strategy, advertising, PR, social media strategy, consumer psychology, and market research. Sixth, data plus human behavior. If Samarth studies data, connect it to people. Behavioral analytics, market analytics, UX analytics, educational analytics, people analytics, and social research can suit him. Seventh, law, policy, diplomacy, and social impact. Sagittarius rising gives moral direction. Moon in the seventh gives public interaction. Mercury gives argument and communication. Jupiter in Aquarius gives social reform. This can support law, policy, international relations, public administration, NGO communication, and civic technology. Now, what should parents avoid? Do not force Samarth into a field only because it is considered safe. Do not assume that if he is good with technology, he must become a silent coder. Do not assume that if he talks a lot, he is unfocused. Do not assume that if he questions authority, he is rebellious. Do not assume that if he changes interests, he lacks seriousness. A Mercury Rahu child explores rapidly. A Moon Gemini child processes through conversation. A Sagittarius ascendant child needs meaning. A Saturn Virgo placement matures through discipline, but discipline must be connected to purpose. So the best approach is not suppression. The best approach is intelligent direction. Give him public speaking. Give him writing. Give him debate. Give him coding with creativity. Give him psychology. Give him AI tools. Give him research projects. Give him design thinking. Give him storytelling. Give him opportunities to teach. Give him a stage, a microphone, a notebook, a digital platform, a classroom, a project, a problem to solve. Because this is not a child whose intelligence is meant to stay locked inside exam sheets. This is a child whose intelligence grows when it moves from thought to speech, from speech to connection, from connection to influence, and from influence to service. And this is why planetary intelligence mapping is superior and direct. It does not wait for years of trial and error. It does not push every child into the same career template. It does not reduce intelligence to marks alone. It reads the diagnostic engine of the chart. It sees which planet carries the soul. It sees which planet carries the career. It sees which houses are activated. It sees whether the mind learns through speech, movement, beauty, logic, emotion, solitude, nature, systems, or people. And once you see that, the child becomes easier to guide. Not easier to control, easier to guide. That is the difference. Samarth's chart says he is a communicator of complexity. He can take difficult ideas and make them understandable. He can take emotional patterns and give them language. He can take digital systems and humanize them. He can take knowledge and turn it into teaching. He can take observation and turn it into insight. He can take people's confusion and help them see the pattern. That is his gift. But the gift needs the right environment. If he is forced into rote learning, he may become restless. If he is judged only by marks, he may lose confidence. If he is compared to silent children, he may feel wrong for being mentally active. If his emotional sensitivity is mocked, he may hide his deeper intelligence. But if he is guided properly, he can become a powerful voice, a speaker, a writer, a teacher, a psychologist, a digital strategist, a UX thinker, a media creator, a coach, a researcher, a communicator for the future. So when you look at your own child, ask yourself this: are you seeing the child clearly? Or are you only seeing the child through the expectations of school, relatives, marks, and social pressure? Because sometimes your child is not behind. Sometimes your child is operating through a different intelligence. Sometimes the child you call distracted is actually multi-channel. Sometimes the child you call emotional is actually psychologically intelligent. Sometimes the child you call talkative is actually linguistically gifted. Sometimes the child you call stubborn is actually searching for meaning. Sometimes the child you call confused is simply waiting for the right map. And that is exactly what an intelligence map gives you. It gives you the child's inner operating system. It shows the dominant intelligence. It shows the supporting intelligence. It shows the learning style. It shows the joy path. It shows the study direction. It shows the fields where the child can connect with the world. It shows where talent can become contribution. So if you are a parent of a Gen Alpha child, a teenager, or a young adult, do not wait until confusion becomes crisis. Do not wait until the child chooses a field out of fear. Do not wait until comparison damages confidence. Map the intelligence early. Understand the planetary placements. Understand the soul planet. Understand the career planet. Understand the houses. Understand the signs. Understand the real child. Because once you understand the real child, guidance becomes sharper. Conversations become kinder. Study choices become wiser. Career direction becomes more aligned. And the child begins to feel something very important. I am not wrong. I am wired differently. And now I know how to use it. That is the real purpose of intelligence mapping. Not prediction for entertainment. Not labels for ego. But direction, clarity, confidence, alignment, and a deeper connection between the child, the parent, and the path ahead. If you want a deep intelligence map reading for your child where we decode planetary placements, dominant intelligence, learning style, study direction, emotional wiring, and future fit career pathways, then connect with me. Because your child does not need more pressure. Your child needs the right map. And once the map is clear, the path becomes visible.